I'm Max Metral. This is Tasty Granberry. It'll make more sense when you see it spelled. We are starting a company called Fig. It is a new way to pay with your mobile phone. So fundamentally, we are allowing unmodified smartphones, Android, iPhone, in theory, Blackberries, as long as they have Wi-Fi, to act as payment devices. The overall payment process is pretty fast. It's faster than credit card, faster than cash, around 5 seconds from the time that you pull out your phone to the time you're done and you walk away with your sandwich. This is meant for payments at real-world merchants, I should say, not so much for online goods. As a result of having a mobile device as a payment mechanism or payment instrument, you get a lot of features for free, such as automatic loyalty card management, automatic couponing. So if you come across a coupon on your desktop at work for a free sandwich, you go to the store, it's already there. You don't have to send it to your phone or anything like that. It just your sort of presence travels across those things. You get full electronic receipts with line item details. So sort of mint on steroids in theory if you want to know which you should have shopped at Whole Foods this week instead of Shaw's because the sales were better for the products you buy. All this sort of crazy stuff is enabled by just having the phone as the device. A big problem with a lot of these systems is the chicken and egg problem, which I'll go into more detail. So we're trying to provide value to merchants from day one before any significant percentage of their transactions are Fig transactions. And mainly that's around this loyalty management I was talking about, as well as analytics. So just because we sort of have access to the transaction stream from the merchant, we can give them general analytics about their business. A lot of small businesses don't have the time to run the report that says people who buy, sandwich X also get a Coke, and you should run a special that does whatever. So a lot of just basic analytics for small businesses to help them get benefit from this platform before there are a lot of transactions driven through the phone. Because the credit card never travels to the merchant and doesn't live on the phone, we argue that this is more secure than credit cards. If somebody steals your credit card, you're going to have to call up the credit card company and wait on hold for a while and go through that mess. In this case, you just go to a website on your desktop and shut off that device. If you want to give the card to your children or to someone else, you can just manage that centrally. It doesn't have to be sort of like a typical credit card because as sort of the overall key, that the payment device is as smart as the phone as opposed to as dumb as the plastic. We're not trying to replace plastic, we're trying to create a payment instrument that is just much more intelligent than plastic. So all these systems have a chicken and egg problem. RFID is a common approach to this, and Nokia and many people are still pushing RFID. It's worked in certain places, Japan and Korea and a bunch of other places, but it hasn't worked here. And I would argue that one of the main reasons is just not enough value for me. I like that I could swipe. I had a speed pass at mobile. That was really cool. But it really didn't provide me electronic receipts. It didn't provide me anything else of use. And additionally, it required everybody to act at the same time. I needed all the merchants to have the device, and I needed all the people to go get a phone, of which there are like 2 in the US, that had an RFID in it. So Fig has a couple advantages in that regard. Number one, there's no hardware on the phone, so the consumer adoption is much simpler. It's just an app. Because of that, if there's even one well-placed merchant, so the sandwich place I go to or Starbucks in the morning or something I use frequently, I'll install it because it's really no skin off my back, so to speak. And on the merchant side, the hardware that the merchant uses is free, basically. It's about a $5 cost. We would, of course, give it away for free. And so the chicken and egg problem is a little bit better, hopefully a lot better, though there still is the issue of getting the merchants to adopt the system. So we'll show a quick demo.
Possible to get this and the computer going at the same time?
Not sure.
We're trying to get both.
Can I get this on one screen and this one?
We have the POS system that the bakery that Fig is currently installed that runs on the computer. We'll just show it to you briefly, but we can't show both screens at the same time, I guess. So. Right, so here's the restaurant POS. We didn't write this. If it was Square or Berkeley or one of these web-based POSs, it would be fine too. Our mission is not to make a better POS. Here's a sample restaurant. Tasty has ordered some quesadillas and buffalo wings and whatever else. He's now ready to accept payment. We will switch back to the phone. These two things were happening in parallel in real life, but we have one screen here. So, as a shopper, he launches the app. He enters his PIN to protect his payment device, and then is ready to pay. And it has seen the amount that is being requested by the POS, asks him if we want to pay $18, and he clicks pay.
Back to show the
That is a picture of him popped up on the POS, which we won't show you, we'll never get there fast enough, which provides additional security, of course, and he's done. And now he has a receipt, and if he wants to post that to his Twitter account or anything else, that's of course possible as well. That's it.
How does the communication go between the policy supply?
I'd rather not splay out all the details here, but basically it's using a Wi-Fi trick. And there are a couple key pieces. These two devices don't ever talk directly to each other. The POS and the phone don't talk to each other, and that's why the credit card never goes through there. So they basically are seeing each other's presence. Actually, only one of them is seeing the other's presence and using that to coordinate a transaction with the cloud. And that's why it's fast. If I want to connect over Wi-Fi to the POS, like that would be a disaster, and it takes 15 seconds. This is about a couple seconds because there's no connection taking place.
I spoof my Wi-Fi with my email address.
Sorry.
Would I spoof my SSID and this?
No, there's a whole bunch of security happening in there. That in addition to the payment, you also get things like secure check-in. So if I want to be the mayor of the Appleton Bakery, I know that I made a purchase there, and I know that I was there at that time. Not that my GPS was being fooled, or that I managed to get the sound from a Shopkick or any of those sorts of things. I know that the ID I saw at that time was uniquely the Appleton Bakery.
Is it credit card billing or?
It can be anything. We're starting out with credit cards because we don't want to be the bank, but much like PayPal, over time, try to move people to ACH or cheaper rates.
Are you looking at anything signature capture recognition?
We've talked about it a bit, and many of the apps out there do that. I think we're too small to get the credit cards to. Oh, sorry. Repeat the question. Are we looking at signature capture?
Yeah.
We're too small to get the credit cards to give us any better rate for that, so it's sort of why bother at the moment. But one of the nice things about the way this works is the signature capture could happen later. So you purchase now, and then I tell you at the end of the day, I send you an email, hey, you forgot to sign for that
But
slip.
in terms of a security mechanism, because once they're pinned, they're kind of in there already, so their signature capture will.
It's possible that I know. I think Google had some trouble with that because you leave fingerprint marks, which makes it a little bit easier to get your password, so to speak. So the particular authentication mechanism into the payment, we haven't really spent a ton of time on.
And in terms of the low latency, how compelling is that as a value proposition?
As
The low latency, for.
Oh, loyalty program. I think it depends on the merchant. For a sandwich shop who says buy 5 sandwiches and get a 6th free, it's pretty important to them. For a dry cleaner, for any of these sorts of people. For Target, maybe not so much. For CVS, I don't know if you guys see the size of the receipts you get from that place, but I never actually use any of those things because I'm not going to keep the receipt, but I would do that with my phone.
You said the equipment's under $10. Obviously, that's the biggest challenge, is get the merchants to adopt it. People would try to solve this. NFC, you have to have a lot of equipment installed. The T, we all probably came here using NFC. What is this $10 magic solution?
It's just a Wi-Fi card. That's the trick, basically. So it's an off-the-shelf Wi-Fi card. Most POSs and businesses like these are Windows-based in some way or other, or Linux-based even better. And so you just plug it in and go.
Proprietary Wi-Fi card to plug
Not proprietary. We do some proprietary tricks with it, but the card itself is just an off-the-shelf card.
How does the relationship get managed with the vendor? Do you do like a bulk transfer, say $10,000 investment, and then you do single transfers on an account basis, or?
First of all, it's just, I'll repeat the question, is how does the transfer happen to the merchant? How does the merchant get paid? It's just the two of us for now, so we haven't done millions of dollars of transactions. But fundamentally, the idea is that there will be a payout, ACH payout, a direct bank payout after every, say, $50 or $100. We give them a rate that is essentially equivalent to their credit card rate. A lot of these small business merchants will get, say, 2% credit card rate plus 25, 30 cents a transaction. But let's say a sandwich shop, typical transaction size is 10 bucks, that's really like a 4% rate. So we give them about a 2% rate and do some tricks on our side in addition to just having a good discount rate with our provider to give them an equivalent rate, which lowers their barrier. So all we're asking the merchant to do is basically listen to us and spend the 5 minutes to plug in this device and run some installer, which we think really can lower that barrier.
Have you patented your setup?
Have we patented our setup? Yes, for whatever that's worth.
What's the experience for the first time user?
For the first time phone user, what's the experience for the first time phone user? They would see something in the store that indicated that they could pay with Fig. They would, they could take a picture of a QR code or whatever. They get to the App Store and download the app, type in their credit card number and pay. So I'm not sure that we expect you to be standing at the register and decide to do it, but you may walk into the store and decide to do it, and by the time you get there, you can do your thing. Another important bit is that this is a generic web app, so to speak, once it's installed, and so the merchant can build specific applications for their business. So the Equinox Gym, if they want to let you check in with Fig, they can do it. It doesn't have to be a payment app. So it's sort of an FBML style platform for the merchants to build their own applications. And in fact, in the case of the sandwich shop, I may not use Fig every time. When I leave the office for lunch, I'll just use the online ordering, which is in the Fig application for them, and pay there without using any of this Wi-Fi stuff and just pick up my sandwich.
How does the Wi-Fi card then get around the mobile proof of presence trick if you're just walking by and want to use it for check-in loyalty?
Fundamentally, its ID is changing all the time. And the space is really big, so if you just guessed, you basically wouldn't get anywhere. So you have to have seen that ID at that time, and we know that it was at that place.
Do you deal with multiple cash registers?
Do we deal with multiple cash registers? Yes. I'm sure we have a little bit of work to do at McDonald's, where I don't really know physically which register you're looking at, but at most places there's enough space that you're okay. We can basically turn the power of the card way down, so that works. Thanks.